The question of the meaning of Jesus' death has echoed up and down the centuries. Very recently, of course, with Mel Gibson's movie, it's on the minds of a lot of people. Why did Jesus have to go through this terrible ordeal? What's the meaning of his death? Let me get at it this way. Jesus comes as a warrior. C.S. Lewis said he came the way he did, a little baby born in a distant outpost of the Roman Empire, because he was being snuck clandestinely behind enemy lines. Jesus came as God's own self, but entering into a dysfunctional world, a sinful world. And therefore, as he emerged, preaching and teaching and performing miracles and radiating the divine presence, he awakened opposition. And we hear that up and down the Gospels, don't we? From the very beginning, he's opposed. Herod tries to stamp him out, and he has to go into exile. From the minute he appears in the public scene, some cheer, others are opposed to him. It comes to its climax, of course, in the Passion. When you read these great Passion narratives in the Gospels, it's as though all forms of human sin and dysfunction come to meet him. We hear, for example, of the explicit betrayal of Judas, that you would turn your back on your friend and your mentor. But you also see the more subtle forms of resistance and denial. So when Peter denies that he even knows him, when the other disciples fall asleep at his moment of truth, that sloth in the presence of the good. You also see the great disorder and injustice of the Sanhedrin. You see Pontius Pilate, who knows the truth but won't follow through on it. You see the incredible brutality of the temple guards and the Roman guards as they torture him and then lead him out to crucifixion. You see something I find maybe even most terrible. Those who would mock him even as he hangs dying on this instrument of torture. It's as though all of human darkness, all of human sin comes out. It's as though he draws it out by his own goodness and by his own perfection and the radiance of his life. And he's overwhelmed by it. Jesus dies. He really dies. Not just apparently, not just as a play acting. He dies, crushed by the evil of the world. But then, in the resurrection, God's love conquers that evil. He took it on. But then in the resurrection, what we see when Jesus says, Shalom, to those who would abandon him. He says peace to those who would run from him, those who had fallen asleep in his hour of need. When he says Shalom, it signals that God's love and forgiveness can swallow up all the sin of the world. What you see in the cross of Jesus is the sin of the world. The author of life came, St. Peter said, and you killed him. That means all is not well with us. It means you can see in the very wounds of Jesus the dysfunction of the world. But now, all that sin, all that dysfunction has been swallowed up, has been conquered by the ever greater forgiveness and love of God. And that's why in Romans, Paul can say, I'm certain that neither death nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor height, nor depth, nor any other power can separate us from the love of God. Paul knows it because we killed God. We threw all the dysfunction of the world at God, and God still loves us. God can swallow that up in his forgiveness. That's Christianity. And that's why the cross of Jesus was necessary. That's why the cross of Jesus saves us. That's why we hold it up on Good Friday and we say, there's the cross on which hung the salvation of the world, right? We know that we're saved. We are saved precisely through that terrible cross.